there are many ways in which I expect autonomous vehicles to change in a very fundamental way the way that we think of personal mobility in a city. In addition to numerous advantages, for example, increasing the safety, giving us some of our time back where we can do something productive on entertaining while commuting. I think that really the main advantage will come from the transformation of the way that we think of personal mobility from something that is based on a product that is a car that we buy and we own and we leave parked somewhere most of the time, typically 95% of the time, to something that is more centered on transportation as a service. What we have in mind, and I think that this is really our vision for autonomous vehicles, and I think this is the killer app for the technology, is a model of mobility where people, when they need a car, they will be able to book one on their smartphone or their computer or through a telephone. Then a car will self-drive and go pick up those passengers on its own. And the passenger will be able to see in real time on the smartphone where the car is, how much longer has to wait. Then the people can get on the car. If they want, they can drive it, or if they trust the technology, can just flip a switch and be driven, let the car drive, arrive to the destination, go about their business. At the time where they don't need the car anymore, they can just step off the car, and the car will go park itself, recharge itself, it's an electric car, refuel itself, or go pick up the next customer. I think that this is really something that can dramatically change the way we think of mobility. And I like to think of this as a way that you can provide to everybody the convenience of a private vehicle combined with the sustainability of public transportation. There are numerous challenges. A few of them are technological, and this is our specialty. So I am leading a major effort at the Singapore MIT Alliance for Research and Technology, trying to develop the technology of autonomous vehicles. There are, of course, parallel to the technological challenges that we are facing, but in a sense are known unknown, in the sense that we know what we had to do in order to develop this technology. In parallel, there are a number of regulatory issues. I think that what is needed is a set of rules, laws, regulation policies by which that regulate this technology and the deployment of this technology. What I think that we really need at this point is some clarity on the roadmap towards the deployment of this technology, so that people working on developing the technology, but also potential investors or people who really work on the transition of this technology to the market and to the public, can have an idea of, essentially a real business model whereby, they know that if it can meet certain standards, however high these standards are, but I know with certainty that if I can accomplish, satisfy certain criteria, then I will be able to deploy this system and offer this service to the public. So I think that there is this regulatory issue that is important. Another one that is very much related is the liability issue, right? So I think that at this point, given the uncertainty of this technology, we may say that at some point, for example, getting insurance on these autonomous vehicles may actually become cheaper and easier than to get insurance for human-driven vehicles, right? At some point, actually, maybe become hard to get insurance if you want to drive the vehicle yourself. But before you get to the point, there is still, a lot of uncertainty on how you will be able to insure and how we can face potential litigation risks. I think that there are several ways that this can be addressed. One way that I often think of is a program like in the U.S. The United States government implemented for vaccines. So there was a time where pharmaceutical companies were on the verge of stopping making vaccines because of fear of litigation. So the U.S. government created a fund where that could help relieve the pharmaceutical companies from potential litigation risks and liability. I think that at the point where it is made clear that the impact, the potential social benefit of this technology, of the autonomous vehicle technology, becomes clear, I think that may also become viable to create such a fund that could help, companies who want to enter this market and provide this service offset some of that risk. That's an excellent question. We actually have a very large research effort. So I'll talk about our own effort in this area. So I'm leading this big research project sponsored by the National Research Foundation in Singapore, where we are looking at the impact of technology on future urban mobility. The autonomous vehicle technology is just one piece of it. I think that leveraging, exploiting modern technology in terms of ubiquitous sensors, the ability to collect data, share data, process data on the cloud, put it back, essentially in the system to improve the way it operates, offers a tremendous amount of possibilities. Things that we are working on include, big data processing, so that we can understand how the city evolves, how the city lives, and how we can impact the way that the city lives and evolves by implementing new policies that leverage the availability of this information. We can provide better information to people so that they have a better sense of better ability to decide what is the best way to commute to work or go about their business. We are also working on better methods by which you can control traffic, for example, like from controlling traffic signals in a more clever way, also using real-time distributed data that you collect from traffic sensors. We're also thinking of ways that cars can actually communicate with one another and within the road infrastructure in such a way that you can increase the efficiency and the throughput of the system. So I really think that we are at the point where all the technology that is available, and if you think of it in everybody's pocket, pretty much we have more computing power than what took man to the moon many years ago. Okay, so how do we leverage all this computing power? How do we leverage all these data that are becoming available to improve urban mobility? And I think that we are making a lot of progress in this direction.